Thought I might just do a little start off with a kind of a just a spontaneous guided exploration of our experience, which is all we're ever doing in these meetings anyway. But and as I sort of guide and share a little bit as we explore together, I'll just be noticing different kind of, I don't know, I would almost say sort of primal aspects of this experiencing. And yeah, just point you to that, to notice that. And yeah. So just sitting here and noticing that something's here and something's here always. Something always seems to be showing up somehow and appearing in some way. And notice how you never find that noticing of what's appearing. You ever never find that other than in this instant, and that there is no other. Literally, there's no other place to find this reality. It's always just appearing right in this instant. And as you notice it's appearing in this instant in all its unimaginable color and diversity and unpredictability, notice one of the most obvious qualities of it, which is its absolute um, lack of any stability. I mean, we really do think about this, the moments of our lives as having a kind of stability that we can essentially describe and talk about, right? But as you're being with your experience in real time, forgetting about all the ideas you have that there even is something that you can put your finger on and talk about, just notice that if you were to try to capture what's here descriptively, as you feel what's here descriptively, notice its instantaneous transformation into something else. Feel that. It's very obvious, isn't it, that it has no, it doesn't continue in a particular way, does it? You can't say how the moment is, can you? Somebody, one of my graduate students wrote me and they said they wondered if I had said this from a lecture or they'd read it somewhere and they wanted me to comment on it. This idea that emotions only last for 90 seconds. And I responded back to the student that I would have never said such a thing. So it wasn't me that made such a claim. I would say if you look at what we even call an emotion or a thought or a sensation or anything that we might call the moment, um, exactly how long is it here for? Just feel that. If we say it's here in a particular way, like when we describe some emotion like joy or fear, I mean, we talk about like we know what we're talking about, but as you feel what's here, again, forget about all the categories and ways of apparently encapsulating what's here. Feel what's here. You are feeling what's here. And notice that you can't say this is the way it is because the minute consciousness goes, this is the way it is, and renders it, this is the way it is, it's You feel the rapidity, the rapidness of the transformation, the instantaneous nature of the release of the moment, right? How it There's no way to this is so strange the way this is strange based on how we typically think of things that are graspable, that are identifiable. But notice that um, that in one very real sense, you can't even notice something called the moment. That's how fast it changes. You feel that? Ungraspable, unceasingly flowing, we could say. But the river of experience that's flowing, seemingly, one way to describe it, doesn't have a pause to it. It doesn't have a cessation to the flow that would enable us to define its nature and structure and qualities. Not really. You feel that? You can't even determine where you are right now. You can't assess how you're doing right now. You can't apply any sort of measurement or evaluation to the moment because of this dynamism. Do you feel that? This discovery that there aren't really phenomena, fixed, identifiable phenomena, despite what language keeps telling us. This discovery is, we could say, profoundly relaxing because there's nothing that has to be sorted out, you see. There's nothing that has to be figured out. There's nothing that has to be rectified or resolved or controlled or manipulated or understood or I mean that can all be there as part of the dance of life, as we all know, that is a perspective, a valid perspective within the view that things are definable, then it makes complete sense that some of these definable things need some sort of fixing or resolution or navigation or right. We all know that reality, and we don't have to belabor it because we're quite familiar with it. But this other reality is not like that, is it? There's really no states of mind to get ourselves into or extricate ourselves from. Not because we're getting good at meditating or something. It's like it's just the way reality is. It's nature, and we have an opportunity to notice its nature, and we are that nature of unresolvable, ungraspable, fluid dynamism, right? For lack of a better way to characterize this. That you see, I can't characterize it. My language fails at conveying the felt sense of this. There's no way to convey the felt sense of this, but it is utterly beyond comprehension and any way the interpreting mind might try to render it, right? You can feel that it's just beyond the reach of that. By its nature, it's transcendental by its nature. It's not like there's something to then transcend. It's just that this is by its very nature transcendental, ungraspably infinite in its infinite in that you can't render a final conclusion about it. You can't set the parameters and limits of it because it has no limits or parameters because it's um, free, free of all ideas, all notions, all ideologies, all frames of reference, all interpretations, all philosophies by its nature. Just your ordinary, so-called ordinary existence, sitting here, being here, is not what you think it is not what I think it is, because it's unthinkable. It looks like being an embodied creature in one sense, hosting a meeting, but what I just described is exactly what. Because to describe something is to describe a thing that has particular characteristics, right? That's how I can describe it. It's this. It's not something else. That's the description, right? It's this. It's sitting here or speaking to you. I just characterize something, right? But can you feel that again? Like how what this is a sh absolute shapeshifter. The shape of this, it has no shape because the apparent form of it, the apparent patterning of the moment is on the move, and in that sense is unpatterned and unstructured and unformed and unfixed and undefinable. You feel that? You are absolutely beyond all definitions and descriptions. In that sense, you can't find you as an identifiable, like, oh, here's the essence of John. The essence of John is like the essence of everything, bottomless infinity. I never get to the final essence of me. What would that possibly be? Oh, now I've wrapped it up. I know the essence of John. I know the essence of Trish and Mark and David and Bob and a glass of water and a cell phone and right. Sometimes with what we call physical objects, like this pen, it can feel like what I'm saying doesn't make any sense because it feels like the pen has a kind of stability and object permanence to it, right? Like there it is, and it's the same pen right now and right now and right now. It's not really changing, right? What's being seen, we have this idea that it's unchanging. But if you tune into what makes it possible to see the scene, to notice this that's being seen, is the action, the activity of seeing, right? So feel the seeing of this and notice how the seeing has absolutely no stability, does it? It's so it's so wild, isn't it? What's that? I don't know what the language is. Gate gate, parasam gate. Gone, 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 beyond, beyond, beyond. You don't have to go beyond. You can just see that this is beyond, beyond the reach of our finite conceptions. And the relaxation we could say that comes about through noticing this is that, oh, wow, as I was saying, there's not something to overcome. There's not something standing in my way. There's not an obstacle. There's not, because everything is made of this transcendental, inconceivable radiance, this shining of reality. Shining, isn't it? The brightness of everything. Bright in, I don't mean to imply visual because, you know, you could say the presence of a thought is not necessarily a visual experience, right? But it's here, and in its being here, in its appearance, that's its brightness. It's illumination. It's appearing. It's being recognized. So everything is being recognized. It's being recognized. That's the brightness of everything. It's just that that appearing is dynamic. It's not an appearance of a thing. It's this appearing, this shining that never actually concretizes, right? I think I used this metaphor once of like pouring concrete, and the concrete's pouring out, and eventually the concrete sets and it becomes like a fixed object. It concretizes and becomes concrete, right? It's like this pouring of reality, the pouring of reality. It never concretizes. Do you feel that? It just keeps, there's such an ease in that flow. It's like one we could call moment opening into the next effortlessly, right? Unstoppably. You can't stop it from opening and opening and opening. Try to stop its flow. Try to stop its dynamism. And we are that flow. We are inseparable from this ceaseless, unstoppable flow. It's just the shining, the brilliant shining of this magical, mysterious, ungraspable miracle. Every single perception, every single thing we call an experience, a perception, is this ungraspable, unstoppable, inconceivable flow. So it's never absent, the shining, never.